first things first, before we get into this video, can you believe that this video right here is my 221st video? I've been on YouTube for over 5 years now, creating a video almost every single week on different subjects of photography, and this right here is my 221st video. Unfreaking believable. I never thought we would get this far along, and it's going crazy. So anyways, I had a question for you. Are giveaways a thing? Like, should I look into doing a giveaway? And if I should I wait till I get to like 20,000 subscribers? Should I wait till or should I do one now? And what should I give away? Let me know in the comments, because I don't even know if they're a thing anymore. And anyways, moving on. So today, I'm going to go over a simple studio setup. I have found a lot of people are kind of unsure of the lights to get, the setups to get, and what to do to get really, really nice photos in a makeshift studio. Like, nothing super professional, but enough to get some cool photos. I had a buddy of mine come in and we went over this and he was like, this is so simple, but it's so complicated when you look online. So in this video, I'm gonna kind of simplify it, go over everything I use, and hopefully make your life a little bit easier. I hope. Will Simpson here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over a simple studio setup that you could do in your home, in a garage, or in a big space, whatever you want. Now, this isn't like top of the line stuff, so you're not gonna be spending thousands of dollars, but there is a large variety in the pricing range. There's so many different lights to look at. There's so many different things that you can, the studio area and the studio equipment is very broad. Like, you can spend $100 on a light, or you can spend $10,000 on a light. It's crazy. And a lot of the terminology and numbers and all that they use is very, very complex and can get very, very confusing. So that's why I'm gonna go over what I use to get photos that's just relatively simple that anyone could do, and it's not gonna cost you much, maybe $500, I hope. I think. All right, anyways, let's get into it. So the first thing we're gonna go over is the equipment. Now, I'll link all of these in the description. They're Amazon links, so it's really simple to get them, and it's all of this, that's where I've ordered everything. Now, I use what's called a Godox ML60BI. Now, this is a very simple light. It can be adjusted percentage-wise. It can adjust to cool or warm temperatures. It's all controlled by a remote. It's actually the two lights lighting me in front here, and then the hair light right here that you see. The two lights I use for my YouTube video setups is the same two lights that I use for my studio setups. These lights are not the most powerful. A lot of times I am using them at 100%, anywhere between 70 and 100%, at about 5,000 Kelvin, which is this kind of coolish light that you see. It's kind of in the middle. Let's put it that way. It's kind of in the middle. Actually, check that. It's at 6,000 Kelvin, so it's on the cooler side, which is why what you're seeing is a little bit cooler. Anyways, they are currently in a soft box, which is, and I had to write this down because I can never remember the size of these damn soft boxes. I'm using a Godox shallow soft box. It's 37 inches or 95 centimeters. So it's pretty big and it's shallow, so it feathers the light really softly, so it gives you that nice, soft, non-harsh light. So those are what I'm using for the lights. Now, these are the same lights that I use in the studio. You can use a 1 or a 2 light setup. Generally, I use a 2 light setup because I have it, and I use the hair light, which is behind me, which you see, on a C-stand. It's a newer C-stand. They run around $120. You don't need one of these. You don't necessarily need a hair light. It does add a little bit of dimension, but it's not required. And then I use a newer 10-foot stand, which, let me tell you, they're awesome. They're, I think, $120 for 2 of them, so you can just get one, but they are strong, they're stable, and they're nice. They're much better than the cheaper ones that I originally had. They were just cheaper. So I do recommend getting some nicer stands. As a note, with the C-stand one with the hair light, I do have 2 sandbags on the stand to counterbalance the weight so it doesn't fall over. So that's one thing to note. So that is the lights and the soft boxes that I'm using. Same lights, same soft boxes on both. The next thing for the studio work, I generally use Savage backdrops. I do the 10-foot rolls, and you don't have to do 10-foot rolls. You could do 4-foot rolls. It's totally fine. Just kind of depends on your price range. And I have just a generic newer backdrop, nothing fancy, nothing crazy strong, but do make sure you get the tall ones, the 10-foot tall ones, because otherwise you'll find that you're editing a lot of the top of the backdrop to kind of clean it up. And if you get the 10-foot ones, you get it taller than most people, and it saves you a lot of time in editing. And then finally, I use a V-flat from V-flat World, which I'll link them in, I think they linked on Amazon. Anyways, I'll find a link for you, whether it's Amazon or V-flat World, either way. But that is essentially the equipment. And it's very, very simple. Like, lighting is super, super simple. The easiest way to look at it is simply, let's say you have the light set at 100%. Okay, well, if you don't have an adjustable light and you need more light, move it closer to the subject. If you need less light, move it farther away. Let's say you're using the adjustable ones and you need a little bit of less light, well, you can turn down the percentages. But let's say you're at 100% and you need a little bit more light, well, just simply move the light closer to the individual. And then another thing to think about is the softness of the light. Now, when you are lighting a subject and you have a really nice softbox like the one I'm using here, the light is very soft and feathery. But you can get it softer by turning the light away. A lot of times, if you position the bottom of the light with the chin of the subject and then turn the light away so the light is casting, this doesn't have to be directly at the subject, but it could be like, let's say, well, say you're looking at me and this is the light, right? So instead of having it directly facing me, I could turn it like this so it's kind of feathered off so the light isn't direct, and that makes a much softer light. The key with light is very simple. Play with it. Get a subject there, put the light on them, take a picture, turn the light, take another picture, and just play with it until you see the lighting that you like. That is really the simplicity of studio work. Now you can get all fancy and you can get like Rembrandt lighting or profile lighting or silhouette lighting. You can do all of this stuff. But realistically, just get how you like and then play with it, and then work on posing, and then work on the different looks. You know, just have fun with it. That's really how you learn lighting. And with this simple lighting, simple setup, you can do a lot of that. Another way you can do is do a 90-degree angle. So the light is faced directly at the V-flat in front of the subject, so the edge of the light is in front of them, like right here, right? And it's facing crosswise, it's hitting the V-flat, which is, I have one right here, which is that light right there, and it's bouncing back onto me. So this is a way to do more lighting, and again, it's just playing with it. So that's really the simplicity of doing studio work. And I've been showing you a couple of examples of things that I've done, things that I did with this model, and then it comes down to editing. Now, let's go ahead and get into Lightroom and show you a couple of things. Now, a lot of these photos that I did with her, I wanted to do black and white. So here is the before, and here is the after. Now, you'll notice that yes, I cropped in, but there's also all of this stuff. A lot of these photos that you see, there are these things in the photo, and they're just edited out. So don't worry about getting the lights close or far or out of frame. If you have powerful enough lights, then yeah, you can have them out of frame. But for my case, my purposes with these lights, they're not strong enough, so I have to get them closer to the model. So I take this photo, right? I did a basic edit. Here's the full before. See how it has the soft fall off here of the light. Almost a Rembrandt lighting, which means that there's light on the side of the face and then the light spills over and creates like a little triangle on the dark side of the cheek. That's considered Rembrandt lighting, but you'll just notice the soft feather of the light. And then here's the basic edit that I did to bring back some color and make her pop a little bit. But then I brought it into Photoshop to take out and I actually used Photoshop Beta. I kind of cheated. I used generative fill, which is amazing for this kind of stuff, and I'll show you right now. If you right click on it, go to edit in and edit in Adobe Photoshop 2023. Little tip, if you have Photoshop Beta open right now already, and you click this, it'll locate that beta is open, and you can open it in beta. And that's kind of an easier way to do that. Here is our photo, and then all we're gonna do is we're gonna make a copy, so Command or Control J on the background. We're gonna press the M for the marquee tool. We're just gonna select our subject, right? Then we're gonna right click, select inverse, generative fill. I'm not even gonna put a prompt, and press generate. Now this is freaking amazing. Like generative fill is just absolutely incredible, and it just makes this kind of stuff so much faster. So and with the updates, it's getting faster and faster on what you're what you're fixing. All right, there we go. So look, this looks amazing. So then I would save this back to Lightroom. So Command or Control S, come back to Lightroom, and this gives us this photo here. Now I've made a few more tweaks to this photo, and then we're gonna make it black and white, and this is our final image. Now I love this. I love the black and white because it just makes it a little bit, in my opinion, more classy. I love the shredded jeans and the kind of, I don't even know what to call that. I'm not really up to speed on terms of women's clothes, but we're just gonna call that like a bodysuit, I think. So I like the shredded jeans, and I like the bodysuit kind of contrast with the black and white. Kind of gives a good dichotomy of things, the opposites of things. So that's why I like this. Now we can go ahead and brighten it up a little, add a little bit more contrast. Oh yeah, make that pop. I mean, that looks so freaking good. Anyways, and that's what I did with some of the images, but that's kind of the simple setup. It's very, very easy, and people get so confused because of all the terms and all the things that are out there in the world. Like if you go look at aperture lights, then Godox lights, and then Photo lights, and then Nan lights, all of these lights, they all use different terms and things like that, and it's very, very confusing. Like a 600, Godox 600, and an aperture 600, and a Nan 250. Honestly, I'm just throwing out numbers right now because I really don't know what I'm saying, but all of those could be the same and all of those could be totally different. So like, I understand. It took me a while to kind of figure things out, and I really don't know all there is to know about it in the first place, but I got these lights. They work great. They're the same lights that I use in weddings too, to light this dance floor for videos and stuff like that. But yeah, start small, work up. And that wraps up this video. So hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Go ahead and check out the description of the video because I put some goodies in there for you. I personally recommend you check out this video, that video next. And if you want to subscribe, hit that button. I'll see you guys next week. Good to see you.